Thank you so much. It's such an honor. Um, I wanted to start off by thanking Caitlin for reaching out to me and for Will. I admire you so much, Will. Like, it's just the work that you do and your artistic ability. It's very inspiring. Thank you guys all for being here. My name is Alex Chiu. At the moment, I'm a full-time muralist, so I do a lot of murals, specifically um, community murals that are based off of community feedback and community interaction. But today, I'm going to talk about the theme of mentorship. Um, and it there's I guess there's words for these programs that are the main themes of each month, and we went through all the words, and the word mentor was something that was really exciting for me because the person who I considered to be a mentor, uh, it has really changed my life in a lot of ways in terms of just holistic support, like in terms of well-being, like being a good person, and then also being a good artist as well. So I want to try to talk to you and share with you about my experiences with a really good friend of mine, Jeremy Nichols, who I considered to be my mentor. This is me and Jeremy at the Portland Airport. This is kind of a hidden mural. It's like in the North Tunnel, so you have to go underground. It's between baggage claim and the parking lot, but it's like 150-foot mural, so a lot of people see it, but it's kind of hidden. It's not like in the nice new parts or whatever. But I'm really proud of being able to do that with Jeremy. So I'm gonna start from the beginning. So I moved here from Southern California in 2012. I guess it's even dated. It's but we actually so when after I went to college in San Diego. We went to UCSD and I met my wife there. Her name is Ann Chu, but she goes by Amisa right now. And in 2000, basically after we graduated, we got engaged, and then we got engaged, and then we lived in her house for like 1 or 2 years, like in her parents' back house. And then one day she kind of was like, Alex, we got to get out of here. I can't just like live at my house for the rest of my life. So we got to do something. So that's kind of where we were at the time. So we had a hatchback, and we just packed it with all of the stuff that we needed to live. So and then we gave ourselves 1 week to go to Portland and see if we could get housing. And then if we didn't get housing in a week, we would just go back home. But then we came up, and then we almost fell for a housing scam. But then eventually we did get a house within a week, and then we were able to live in the Foster Powell community for a couple years. At the time, this is what brought us up to Portland. We had a publishing company, and we did zines. I don't know if you guys are aware of zines. They're like self-published books. They can be about anything, but basically it's the Xerox machine. It's like the art of using a Xerox machine and publishing. So we had a publishing company called Eyeball Burp, and we went up and down the West Coast to do different shows. Like it's funny. There's someone here. Her name is Simon, and she actually helped organize the first LA Zine Fest, and we became really good friends with her. And she's back there. She made a noise, but like we became good friends with her, and right now it's like it all came through zines, and a lot of what came out of our lives came because of zines. So it's something that I'm really proud of. We like I said, we went up the West Coast doing shows, and a lot of the people we met. So this is, I think, in San Francisco. It's the San Francisco Zine Fest, and a lot of people we were meeting were in the Pacific Northwest. So we'd meet them, and then it was one of those things where it's like, oh, we really got to make our way up to Portland. A lot of our good friends, like there was an artist friend, Theo Ellsworth, that we met, and then Dylan Williams. He published Sparkplug Comics, but a lot of my good friends here come from that network of people. Tim Goodyear's like a comic book publisher, and he works at Floating World Comics. So a lot of my network came out of the zine community and comics community and doing these shows. So this is Dylan Williams. I wanted to mention him because he's a huge inspiration of mine. He was the publisher of Sparkplug Comics, and he actually passed away right when we moved here, like maybe like a year before. But when we had visited Portland, we just did a road trip beforehand in like 2011, me and my wife, and then we were living out of we were just sleeping in our car. It was like a romantic, like fun thing. So it's not like we just were doing that because, and so he was like, where are you guys staying? It's like, we're staying in our car. And then he was like, no, you guys like can just stay at our house. And then every night it was the same thing. Like, do you guys want to stay another night? Do you want to stay another night? And then we ended up staying there for 3 nights. And then extended our stay from 2 days to 4 days. So it's just something where like, wow, people in Portland are amazing. And then he like introduced us to like Sizzle Pie Pizza, and then we went to all these breakfast places and went to his drawing night and went to his movie night. And then it was just like, we got to move to Portland. It's incredible. Like, there's all this great stuff, and we had a community through Dylan. And I remember Dylan, the one thing I remember is he said, you got to live by your own means. Like, don't go past your own means. Like, and then you'll live a happy, fulfilling life. And, you know, it's just a lot of his lessons have stuck with me over the years. So life started getting like real. Like we basically, Anne was in a library program when she was pregnant, and we were doing all these zine fests. So we were still trying to stay creative, but we had kids along the way. At the time, so I was trying to do murals. So this is like what the artwork I used to do before. It's very different from the artwork that I do now. But basically, like I was working at a 24-hour coffee shop, the same one that I had a show with Will in it. And then they were like, you can paint the bathroom if you want to. So I like did this crazy like weird thing, and I actually don't think people like it very much. But they ended up calling it like the Pokemon bathroom, and then the other one was like a Harry Potter bathroom. So it was like my first experience doing it. But I was able to do a couple murals in Portland. I had a couple that I did in LA, but this is one of them. And then this one is at K-Town Barbecue. It was on 82nd Avenue. So I did the cityscape with cartoon characters running around. And then when I was, I actually had a relationship with Rack, and I got onto their mural roster, and I did one of their like early mural programs, which was painting the temporary wall. It's a rotating mural wall at Open Signal, and I was like the second artist to do it. And basically at this, so this one's based off of my kid because I was a stay-at-home dad. So I was a stay-at-home dad. I had no time to do art. Like like my responsibility was my kid, and everything was about my kid. So this is these are still frames of her like jumping up and down on a bed, like it's like a home video. And then I froze the frames and then did a mural based off of that. So I thought that in a way, you know, I was still very proactive, but I'm very anxious, and I'm kind of self-deprecating. But I felt like I was never going to be able to do art because it's like, oh, like it's too much. Like I can't do all these zine shows anymore. I'm not making enough money off of comics. Like it's not going to work out. And then I was like a stay-at-home dad. But you know, occasionally I'd have these opportunities. But something came up that kind of changed my life. So I applied for this job, and I swear that it was like, I don't know what the circumstances were, but then like I applied for it, and I was just like, maybe like no one else is applying for this job. But they were doing like this blue line change, and it was like the Hollywood and the 60th station and then like 82nd station, and I applied for it, and I got the job, and it was the craziest thing. It was like, I've never gotten paid this much for art in my life, and I don't even know what I'm doing, and I can't believe they let me do it. I just like swindled them. It's like the craziest thing. But I basically, I was able to do this, and it took me like 2 months, and I was like coordinating like childcare. Like I had to get a babysitter, but I was like, oh, this is like amazing. So it took me 2 months, and I painted on the streets, and you can see it from the street. It's like the 84 freeway, and then people still recognize this, but it's kind of hard for me to look at because it's like my first mural I ever did. So it's difficult, but at the same time, I'm really proud of it. I represented a lot of people in the community, and I filled up the space and represented a lot of different cultural backgrounds and a lot of different organizations. So it is something that I'm really proud of, and I would say that it was life-changing because it gave gave me the funds to pay for childcare and continue to do my art. And the deal with my wife is that as long as I could pay for childcare, I could keep trying to do murals. So that's like the basis of my whole career. And then what was rewarding about it is this was one of the first community murals that I've done, and I don't usually paint people or portraits or anything, but then the fact that people were being represented and they were taking pictures in front of it, and it became a point of pride for those people, it really changed my mentality on what I was doing art for. So that was the beginning of that new mentality of me being an artist, because before I was doing like poop and fart jokes in comics, and that was like the basis of my art form. So this is more of the poop and fart stuff, but like when I was younger, or in San Diego, but just as a younger adult, I was really inspired by graffiti, and like I got caught, and then I had a misdemeanor, and then I was like, I don't think it scared me. So it's like, I don't think I'm gonna do it anymore. But it was like a part of what I did when I was younger. And then basically when I started doing murals, I was like, the graffiti community, I mean, not necessarily like the destructive vandalism stuff, but the graffiti community in Portland is kind of incredible. Like the people who do like graffiti pieces here are really, really good. And I always like admired it at like the skate parks and the production walls that they do. And I just really wanted to be a part of it. So I did that mural at the 82nd TriMet stop, and I was like, I want to start doing graffiti again. Like that was just like what kind of, I don't know. Anyways, it went into my head. And then at that time, the big festival that was happening was For the Love, and there's a guy McTools, his name is Phil, and he owns a recording studio. So he owns this building, and every year he was having like 30 graffiti artists come and paint the whole thing. So I was like, I gotta get into this thing. So like for a year, I was just showing everything that I was doing with spray paint and being like, hey, what do you think? Is this good? Can I paint? Like that sort of a thing. And he never said yes. So like on the day that the event was gonna happen, or the day before, he's like, you know what? Just show up. What happens every year is these guys are flaky, and someone's not going to take the wall, and then you're going to have a space. So just show up. So I showed up, and then in 2018, I was able to collaborate with one of my favorite artists, Icho, and we ended up getting like a quarter of the whole wall. So we did this crazy like cartoon battle over here with like a dragon and a skull and like a fox that's playing a ukulele. But it was like, I was like, I'm in it, I'm doing it. It's like, this is my dream. And at this thing, I met Jeremy. And at the time, I was like, Jeremy's the best. He's like the absolute craziest artist. He did this with Icho, the same artist that I collaborated with at the graffiti wall. He did this for the Black United Fund. It was like Icho and Jeremy. But when I was talking to Icho, he was like, if you want to learn spray paint, you got to learn it from Jeremy. Like, Jeremy's kind of got me into it. He's like really good at murals. He's super professional. He's the guy to go to. So I called, and then at the time, this was like his crowning achievement. So Sunshine Dairy, he did this bear wall. And then what's incredible about it, and kind of a secret, and I'm kind of like giving it away, is that, so it's like when they put it out there, it was like, Jeremy Nichols collaborated with this graffiti artist or whatever, but that's his graffiti. So it's like, if in terms of graffiti, he had like a 150-foot piece of his name. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's like really incredible. So I remember this being super inspiring to me. And then that's Jeremy when I had kind of first met him. What happened was I went and had coffee with him, and I was like, I want to pay you to have lessons to do spray painting. And he was feeling me out, and I don't think that he really wanted to teach me. But then we met up and talked and got to know one another, and it was okay. It worked out. And then we got a call for bids from the Portland Street Art Alliance, and basically we learned that we were competing against each other to paint the airport. And this was where my life changed again. So after TriMet changed my life, he was like, you know what, you want to like paint with me, or you want to learn, and this is a huge wall, why don't we just do it together? And it really changed my life. So this was the wall originally. They had a very like outdated history of the Port of Portland, and they're like, let's do something different. Let's bring Portland into the airport. So that was their whole campaign with the marketing thing. So we were actually hired by the marketing department to paint, to bring the street art into the airport. And then we collaborated together, and then this is us painting together. And then it was something that, so this is what we created. The balance between it, and I think that this is the dynamics that we have with each other, is that I usually do community portraits and also highlight sort of the local history of the area, as well as try to like connect with people, and I do all those elements. And then he does the flora and fauna. So he's done work for like the zoo and I think the Autobahn, but he's like really good at painting like nature and birds. And then he also does the graffiti stuff, so he put the abstract stuff in there. But this was our collaboration, and it was something I was really proud of. And again, when we had like an opening ceremony, the people that we painted came out. Norman Sylvester, a blues musician. At the time it was like the Rose Queen, the Rose Festival Queen of that year. And then Ed Edmo, a Native American storyteller. So they all came out and took pictures in front of the mural. And then this is us. What I wanted to do with each of the projects, how are we on time? Okay. With each of the projects, I wanted to tell a lesson that I learned from my mentor. So in this one, I was like, this is an opportunity. This is the craziest thing. I'm going to spend so much time on it. Like, I'm going to like blow it out of the water. And then I was like painting Norman Sylvester right there behind him. I was painting Norman Sylvester's like jacket and like guitar for like 2 days. And then Jeremy was like, oh, so you're like painting white on white for 2 days, Alex? And like, so this is like how I describe him. I describe him as, because he's not much older than me. I think he's like 3 years older than me. I'm 40 now. But I call him a young, grumpy old man. And that's like his education style. That's how he mentors. That's how he teaches me. He just makes fun of me. And I was like, you know what? It's like, he's like, why are you doing this? Why are you putting so much work into this? I was like, you know what? It's like my opportunity. Everyone's going to see it. I want to do it like the best that I can. He's like, that's great. But then when you do another project, you have to do the same thing. And then you have to like paint it like that again. And then you're going to have to spend like 4 days painting white on white again, Alex. So lesson number 1 is like, it's kind of comes in line with Dylan's message, but it's like, stay within your means. Don't overwork yourself. Sometimes you just have to keep it simple to just keep moving. That's lesson number 1. But I did spend way too much time on it. It was like 2 months. It was crazy, but I'm really proud of it. I still am. There's parts that I really don't like, and I almost would go and repaint it, but I don't think that's going to happen. We had the craziest opportunities. I can't believe they let us do this. So this is like the Northwest Natural Gas building, I think. Yeah, it is. The Northwest Natural building. And then they hired me and Jeremy, because of what we did at the airport, to paint the top of the 11-story building. And it looks small from the ground, but it's like 50 by 50. It was like gigantic. And we're like in the little bottom corner over there if you want to see the scale of it. And it's a project that I'm really proud of. We finished it in 8 days technically, but then like the last day we had to like clear coat it, and it ended up taking us about 10 days. But then it's like we finished it so fast. It was like the craziest thing, and it was something that I didn't even know was possible. What else was I going to say about this? So the lesson here. Well, let me go through the pictures. So we did it the old school method. We did the grid, and then we sketched it out. It's like you have to work at like a printer, like an inkjet printer. So it's just like one thing at a time. And then I don't paint as fast as him. He paints like 5 times faster than me. So literally, I would be working on something on one side and he would be working on the other, and then he'd have to like take a nap while I finished. And that's like our dynamics. But you know, we still finished in 8 days, so I'm not like sad about it. So this is some pictures of us. This is like what we worked off of. For the most part, we had like an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and we did the whole thing. It was kind of crazy. And then this is us. The lesson that I learned from this one is, so we were all the way at the top, and I had never, you know, been like that high up, and we had to like step over. There's like a gap, a 2-foot gap in between the building and the whatever, and then you have to like step over it with the safety rope and whatnot. So the first time we were up there, it was like the safety manager, the security, he was there, everyone was there, and they were like, Alex, you're the first one, go get inside, right? So we get onto this building, and you have a safety rope that's like 100 feet long, because it has to go all the way to the bottom. And then like I got in and dropped the rope, and immediately it like 50 pounds, it like pulled me down. And then I like stumbled up, and then he's like, are you good? Like Jeremy was like, are you good? And then I was like, I think so. I think I'm good. And then he's like, okay, let's paint. So he just started painting. And then day 2, I'm like, are you nervous? Like, does it freak you out that we're up here? Because I was scared. And this is like, you know, how to deal with fear. And then he looks at me, he's like, Alex, I'm telling you the truth, I don't feel anything. Like, it's like, I don't feel anything. And then I was like, well, like, what, like when the like, we're hanging up here with 2 metal wires that are like this thick. That's like what's holding us up. And then when the wind goes, it goes, ping, and then like you can hear it. And he's like, I don't feel anything. Just don't think about it. And then honestly, I just stopped thinking about it. And then like we did some stuff up there that was probably like not OSHA safe, but then we just got really, really confident like being up there. And then that's the second lesson that I learned, is that like just don't think about it. And then just keep. So that's the lesson I learned from that one. And then most recently, so this is like the 3rd big project that we did, but those 2 were like incredible. This is also incredible, but we did a food court. So in downtown, next to the Ritz-Carlton, they opened up Flock Food Court, and we were asked to do this. And it was a really intense job. It was like a whole building, and we filled the whole inside with murals, like flora and fauna. This is more so like Jeremy's thing. I feel like Jeremy painted 80% of this, and he just like let me hang out, kind of a thing. But we did this together. And in the end, like we had a big opening ceremony, and then that's us together. We still haven't even signed it, and they wanted us to make adjustments. We haven't even done it yet, but basically this is the last big project that we did together. The lesson that I learned, because my life is really intense right now as a muralist, because I take on too much. I don't know how to manage my time. I have 2 kids and a wife, and it's been really intense. But when I work, I put a lot of myself into it. Whenever I'm doing a job, basically I'm on the border of divorce, pretty much. Like it's really intense. So like the lesson that I learned here is that when like one day I was like, I gotta finish this butterfly because I want to keep up with your pace. So I was like 11:30, 12 a.m., like midnight kind of thing. I send Jeremy a picture of the butterfly that I did, and then he's like, what are you doing, Alex? Like, go home. Like you're gonna get a divorce, like kind of a thing. So basically, like the lesson that I learned from this is that like he was basically telling me, he was like, instead of being like, oh, Alex, you're like too slow, we're not doing this fast enough, he really wanted me to take care of myself. And over the past years, it's like what I've learned is that on my own accord, my own patterns are going to kill me. Like I'm just going to keep on acting like I'm 20 years old and drink energy drinks and whatever it is. And he was like, you can't do that anymore. You got to like figure out your life, because otherwise it's all going to fall apart. So I feel like that's the lesson that he taught me in this. So those are the 3 lessons that I got out of this. I thought that it would be appropriate for the thing. But this is another one that we did. We did a mural in the lobby of SEIU. It's a smaller one, so I don't have a lot to talk about. And then these are just some of my murals that I've done throughout the years. This is the stuff that I did on my own. So I did press, I want to say I did in elementary school. I don't remember which elementary school. So this is some of my work over the years. Mojo Crepes. This is in Sauvie Island. It's the Bella Organic Farm. This is Gilbert Heights Elementary School. Roosevelt High School for the Pacific Islander Club. This is Vancouver, Washington. Leah Hing, one of the first Chinese women pilots. This is in 82nd Avenue and Powell. It's the leaders of East Portland. It's women leaders in the community that live around this area. And then I did Urko's Asian Pacific Islander Family Center. So I've learned a lot, and my relationship with him has really helped me develop it and pushed me to do things that would just like can't believe I'm doing it. Like my life, I can't believe I'm doing what I do, and I'm really grateful for it. I'm just trying to like keep it all together and keep it within my means and not let my life fall apart in the middle of it. So that's my presentation. I think that's it. Thank you so much.